What's going on, everyone? So yesterday we all had to sit around and watch the Los Angeles Lakers lose to the Golden State Warriors in a game that was once again a much-needed, must-win type of game, and the Lakers just failed to show up. Anthony Davis ended up getting hurt in that game, and as soon as he went down, you kind of knew it was over. Lakers just don't have the pieces to kind of offset and supplement the loss of Anthony Davis, unfortunately, and it's tough. I'm actually surprised it was closer than it was. A lot of that was LeBron going off for 40, nearly a 40-point triple-double. It's sad that LeBron's dropping 40 and we're still losing games, but it is what it is at this point, right? Like, what are you going to do? I mean, even Darvin Ham is out there, saying the same thing. It is what it is, right? Like, if he doesn't care, it's incredibly frustrating. But nonetheless, we have no updates yet, at least at the time of recording this video, on Anthony Davis and when he'll return, if he'll return, what the deal with his eye is. Hopefully, right, between now and Monday's game against the Atlanta Hawks, that eye heals enough for him to get on the court, wear some goggles, do the whole Kareem thing, and maybe we'll be in some shape, right? Maybe the Lakers kind of keep the ball rolling. But here's the thing. Let's say Anthony Davis is going to miss a week to let his eye heal, right? Let's say, it's really bad swollen, maybe he has some, a cornea issue or whatever, right? There's a million things that could happen with the eyeball. So let's say it's something like that. He misses 7 games. The Lakers right now, currently the 10th seed, tied with the Warriors for the 9th seed technically, but the Warriors currently have the tiebreaker against the Lakers. The Lakers and the Warriors do have another matchup towards the end of the season. But at this point, like, best case scenario is probably the 8th seed, right? Maybe you can overtake the Phoenix Suns because right now the Lakers are 3 games back of Phoenix, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Sacramento Kings. Here's the problem. The Mavericks and the Kings both have tiebreakers. So really, it is 4 games over the Lakers. Because if they finish with the same record, guess what? The Lakers finish 9th, and then everyone else continues the position that they're in. However, Phoenix is the one team that we may be able to overtake with tiebreakers if the Lakers get their act together, which, again, is a big if. Even with Anthony Davis, there's a real question of, can the Lakers get their act together enough for you to end up climbing into the top 8, which at this point, it's looking more and more bleak. Now, as far as the Lakers potentially falling out of the play-in entirely, well, they have a 3.5 game lead over the Houston Rockets, right? Which, again, Lakers are tiebreakers, so it's really 4.5 games, right? Houston is on a 5-game win streak, but all these teams have 14, 15 games left. Like, is Houston really going to win 4 more games than the Lakers, even with LeBron James and Anthony Davis out? That's a real question. To me, it's kind of getting to that point. Maybe it's not quite there yet, but unless the Lakers go and rattle off 11, they go like 11-3 or something like that in their next 14 games, I don't see the Lakers moving into that 8th spot. And the 9th or the 10th, like, yes, that game you'd get home court, but the rest of the way, if you win that game, the next game you're on the road. So you basically are going to be on the road the entire way outside of one game, which would be if you're the 9th seed, you'd play in LA against the Warriors over playing in Golden State against the Warriors, right? So to me, it's like, do you just accept that you're going to be the 9th or 10th seed, right? Rest LeBron and AD. You look at the games coming up. All the games are very winnable. Like, you look at all these games and you're like, man, the Lakers could almost sweep the board, right? The Bucks on the road might be a little tough. The Pacers, you play twice. It's hard to beat anybody 2 times in a row, especially in a 4-game span, and that second game would be on the road. But like Atlanta, no Trae Young. 76ers, no Joel Embiid. Pacers, they lost Mathurin. The Bucks, we'll see if Giannis even plays during that game. The Grizzlies are basically packing it in. The Pacers, again, Mathurin. The Brooklyn Nets, you should be able to beat Brooklyn. Right? So you look at this stretch and you're like, man, outside of like maybe the Bucks if Giannis plays, you should be able to win every one of those. You should be able to go 6-1 in your next 7. But then you think about it and you're like, oh, wait, it's the Lakers. So are they going to go 6-1 in the next 7, or are they going to go, 3-4? Or 4-3. If that happens, then again, you could kind of kiss it goodbye. So there is that incentive of like, okay, get everybody back. Let's make the push. but let's try to close March strong. And if Anthony Davis is good to go, right, then I think you should, right? Like if Anthony Davis can play against the Atlanta Hawks, then fine, go for it. But let's say they're like, hey, he's going to miss the next 2-3 games and he's not going to be back to like the Bucks game or whatever. To me, it's like, just sit everybody. Bring them back, the last like 5 games of April, because once you get in April, you got the Raptors and the Wizards on the road, right? Then you have Cleveland, Timberwolves, Warriors, Grizzlies, Pelicans. You want, like if you were to sit LeBron, AD, and everybody, like you want there to be a couple games under their belt before you jump into a play-in game, because you want them to have the momentum and timing down and just everything, like the works, right? So, maybe bring them back, I don't know, that Cavs game on April 6th, right? And try to make that final push against the Cavs, the Wolves, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans. That gives you 5 games. You kind of get through the road trip, right? With LeBron and AD resting, and then you power through those 3 home games, and then you got the Grizzlies and the Pelicans on the road to finish it. And crazy thing is you wouldn't be back. You're on the road basically the rest of the way. Obviously they have home games and stuff in the playoffs, but you got to get there first. So to me, it's kind of like, look, if Anthony Davis is good to go, then you got to go for it. If he's not, and even if he's going to miss the next 2 or 3 games, right? Like, I think you just rest LeBron and you see. Like, let's say you rest both of them and you beat the Hawks. Like, you get through the Bucks game and you win, those 3-4 games, right? Like, then I would just kind of leave it. If you don't, then, kind of just leave it. I guess you can make an argument, like, let's say we did get through the Bucks game, or to the Bucks game, and we won all those games without LeBron and AD, right? So that'd give them basically like a week and a half rest. Then maybe it's like, okay, maybe we should bring them back and make the push. But it's just like, if you bring everyone back healthy on like those last 5 games, I believe you'll be able to weather the storm enough to where Houston isn't going to catch you. You can always, if you need to at any point, bring LeBron and AD back. But to me, it's like, okay, Anthony Davis has been dealing with nagging injuries. LeBron James has been dealing with that ankle injury for months now, where he's kind of been out on several occasions because of it. And he said that it's been a problem, but he's just kind of managing it and dealing with it. So our best chance is for LeBron James and Anthony Davis to be as healthy as possible. If they are 100% or close to 100% because they got like a month rest or 3 weeks rest, then that just gives us the best chance to get through the 2 playing games. Because here's the thing, you're probably going to end up playing 2 playing games regardless. But you're going to have a hobbled LeBron James and a hobbled Anthony Davis. To me, it's like, rest these 2. Let's just accept that we're the 10th seed. Let Jared Vanderbilt finish his rehab. Gabe Vincent, everybody, if Gabe Vincent can come back, fine, let him come back, because that just gives you another able body, right? Like, and rest your LeBron, AD, and Jared Vanderbilt till those last 3 games, or the last 5 games. Bring them back, so that way they have a couple games under their belt, and then we're ready to take on whoever we take on in the play-in. And because the best chance we have of winning the play-in games is with a LeBron James and Anthony Davis as healthy as humanly possible. If those 2 are healthy, we have a real shot, right? If these 2 can get the rest, then we have a real chance. And then once we get into the playoffs, right, like even if we play Denver, your best chance is with a healthy LeBron and AD, right? Because you got to remember, last year when we played Denver, LeBron and AD weren't healthy. LeBron needed foot surgery, and Anthony Davis basically was playing on one leg. And even D'Lo had a foot injury that kept him out before the playoffs. So to me, it's like, if you can get these guys as healthy as possible, get them set, get them feeling good, right? You ride those last 5 games, so that way they can kind of get in a rhythm, get in momentum. Maybe you win all 5 games, or you win 4 out of those 5 or something, and now you got some real momentum going into the play-in game, and you're off to the races. I'm not saying like it's something that should absolutely happen, right? I just think it's worth a conversation. It's worth a thought based on what the deal is with Anthony Davis. If he's going to just miss, say, the Hawks game, then fine. Right? Like if it's like, oh, well, he's going to miss the Hawks game, but he'll be back. Like he's just going to miss one game, then fine. Play that game, ride it out, see what happens. Because you do still have a chance of getting that 8th seed. So, and the Suns still have the toughest schedule the rest of the way. So you're still in a position to where it's like, okay, we could still, like the 8th seed isn't out of reach yet. I think the 6th seed and all of that is out of reach. But, to me, it's like, finish the Hawks game, see what happens with the Hawks game. If he's ready to come back for that Sixers game, then fine. Try to make the push. Try to win as many games as you possibly can. Try to chase and get that AC, because now you only need to win one game to get into the playoffs, right? But again, if Anthony Davis is going to miss 3, 4, 5 games, you're probably not winning those games anyway. And then Anthony Davis is going to come back with like 10 games left, and unless you go 10-0, you basically have no chance at the 8th seed at that point, right? Because again, you're counting on the Lakers to basically win 4 more games than Phoenix. I just don't see it. So to me, get everyone healthy, get all the bodies right, get everyone's minds right, get everyone ready to go, everyone in order, right? Jared Vanderbilt, don't need to rush him back, all that stuff. Let him get 100%. Play the last handful of games with a full roster, healthy and ready to go, or ideally, hopefully, knock on wood, no one else ends up going out during that time span. But also, in the same breath, you're building the confidence and just forcing guys to play bigger roles during that stretch, which in return should hopefully make them better and more ready once we get into the playoffs, right? Can Austin Reeves turn it around consistently? D'Angelo Russell, can he continue to play the way he's played for the most part this season, right? Can you start getting guys to build that confidence of like, hey, we don't have LeBron and AD to rely on? It's kind of my thoughts. Again, I'm not saying, to me, it boils down to what's the situation with Anthony Davis? What's the deal with AD? Because you're not winning many games without Anthony Davis. You might not win any games without Anthony Davis. I know the Lakers sat LeBron and AD and they beat Boston, but to me that was more about Boston than it was the Lakers, right? Credit the Lakers. Lakers did their job. Austin Reeves was spectacular in that game, but Boston also shot like 42 threes or something crazy like that and basically shot themselves out the game. If they did what they were supposed to do, which is like, hey, they don't have a rim protector, let's just be aggressive and attack the rim, then the Lakers probably get blown out that game. So to me, it's like you're probably not winning many, if any, games without Anthony Davis. But if you force these guys to have to step up and play big roles, then maybe you can rattle off some of the enough wins to stay ahead of Houston. Again, if at any point it's looking like, oh, Houston might catch us, you could just bring those guys back and right the ship, and at least they got, maybe a week's rest or whatever. I think it's worth a conversation. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree? Do you think like, hey, yeah, rest LeBron, rest AD, see how that goes? Do you think, no, you got to play him, get him back as soon as possible. Even if AD misses a couple games, still got to play LeBron. You got to try to win these games. I'm not saying concede the season. I'm just saying put yourself in the best position to, if you're going to be in the play-in regardless, if you're basically out of the conversation for the 8th seed by the time AD comes back, then why not just accept, okay, we're going to be in the 9th, 10th seed, let's put ourselves in the best position to go make a push to get the win. That's my thoughts. But again, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.